Alright, welcome back. What is your connection to the incident? I feel like the music was supposed to change to like the normal mind chess music, and it hasn't. Tell me, what's your connection to this incident? Which incident? The murder? Oh, well, it has nothing at all to do with me. Nothing? Really? I wouldn't dream of getting involved in anything as ghastly as that. Well, you see, how can I put this? I like to think of myself as an upstanding citizen, a good person, if you will. A good person who's in prison? Forgive me, Mr. Sahwitt, but under normal circumstances, good people do not tend to end up in prison. So you do want to tell me what you know about the incident. How many times do I have to tell you people? I mean, I don't know anything, I swear. I have no time? Sorry, I don't know what more I can say, but I can't help you. My apologies, Mr. Sahwitt. Considering that the incident occurred right here in the prison, I find it very hard to believe that you know nothing at all. Oh, well, yes, I suppose I can see how that might seem unlikely, but it's true. If you're looking for the person who found the body, you'll have to look elsewhere. The person who found the body? His expression doesn't change like the last guy, so I'm not sure. Why do you think I'm looking for the person who found the body? I certainly never mentioned any such thing to you. Is it because you do know something you're not telling me after all? No, I just sensed that's who you might be looking for, that's all. I'm simply a pet stylist in training. I don't know anything, truly. There's no doubt about it now, this man is hiding something big. In which case, let's find out what he did yesterday at the day of the incident. My opponent is very good at hiding his true feelings, but not for long. It's time to smash that mask of his and see what lurks behind that phony smile. Tell me about the day of the incident. If you really don't have anything to do with the murder, then you have nothing to hide, right? Well, the day of the incident? Oh gosh, I mean, so much happened. What were you doing? I want to know what you were doing, Mr. Sahwitt, in detail. I told you, I'm a pet stylist in training. And that's what I was doing yesterday, training. Specifically, I was giving the animals a trim. You didn't notice any commotion at the time of the incident? I would imagine things were suddenly quite tumultuous around here? Big word I've ever heard? Well, commotion, you say? No, not really. Maybe I heard someone, but... were they screaming? You heard someone? Was this someone screaming by any chance? And don't try to tell me you don't remember. You continue to assert that you know nothing about the incident, Mr. Sahwitt, but I'm afraid I don't believe a word of it. No, I thought I heard someone yelling, but I don't really remember. The fact that you heard a scream at the time of the murder may well prove to be a useful clue. I would do well to bear it in mind. Tell me about the day of the incident. If you really don't have anything to do with the murder, then you really have nothing to hide. The day of the incident. Oh gosh, I mean, so much happened. Oh, that was I wrong? Well, again, how were things in the prison? We backtracked, so I think I got the last one wrong. What was it like in here in the prison yesterday morning? I really don't remember. I don't have the best memory, I'm afraid. Time to deploy my clue. You heard a scream. You don't remember? Please. You literally just confirmed that you heard a scream. Oh, but I might have been mistaken. The truth is, I really don't remember. Your memory fails you yet again. How convenient. But I know you're lying, Mr. Sahwitt. How dare you talk to me like... I mean, I'm not lying. By time? Look, if you must know, when I'm working with the animals and I get into the zone, they're all I see. Am I to understand you have something of a talent for animal grooming then? Well, my scissor technique could use a little work, but I'd say I'm quite good with the animals. They seem to like me. I'm especially good at calming them down when they get scared. Scared? And when exactly do they get scared? Surely it doesn't happen very often. Well, that's... thankfully it doesn't. A scream would frighten them. A loud scream would certainly frighten the animals, wouldn't it? Why are you going to such length to denying having heard the scream? What is it you're hiding, Mr. Sod? Tell me. Yeah, I can assure you I'm not hiding anything. I'll admit, I did really hear somebody scream. But I'm not hiding anything, I promise. The mask is finally beginning to crack. Now to shatter it completely by asking about the scream itself in more detail. I'm afraid you're about to learn a painful lesson, Mr. Sod, that hiding things from me never ends well for my opponent. When did you hear the scream? When did you hear the scream? Oh, wait, now I remember. I forgot about the show. They put on a show for us prisoners around the time of the incident, you see. Yes, performing animals, if I remember right. That's where I was in the morning. So now you wish to claim that you didn't hear a scream because you were at the show. You do realize that goes completely against everything you've told me so far. And what are you going to do about it, huh? That is my memory, yes, patchy, as they say. The animal show really had to be seen to be believed. It did it? Tell me, what kind of animals did you see? Let me think. A whale? What? You weren't actually at the show, were you? Enough of your lies, you were nowhere near the show, were you? Yeah, well, I seem to remember being there, but maybe I was, maybe I wasn't. It's clear Mr. Saw wasn't at the show. This feels like a vital clue. Who did you hear screaming? Who did you hear screaming? Wait, I just realized I made a mistake. When the incident happened, I was out in the yard, yes. So, I didn't hear anyone screaming, no one at all. Time to blow my clue. You weren't at any show. How long are you planning to keep up these lies? I already know that you weren't at the show. Yeah, the game's up, Mr. Sod. It's high time you told me the truth. I demand to know about the scream now. I can't tell you what I don't know. I didn't hear any scream, not from the person who found the body. Wait, if it wasn't the victim who screamed? I'm curious, most people would assume that the scream had come from the victim. So then why do you think it came from the person who found the body? Yeah, I made a mistake, that's all. How, Mr. Sot? How did you know it was the person that found the body who screamed? Because you're the one who found the body. Shall I tell you? You knew because it was you who found the body. And the scream that was heard when the incident occurred didn't come from the victim, it came from you. Well, the real question is why lie about it. How did you... it's true, I admit it. But what gives you the right to treat people like this? Checkmate. Now that we've established that you were the one who found the body, Mr. Sonnet, I believe you have lost any standing you might have had to withhold your cooperation. Alright, you win. But I'm sure I won't have anything useful to tell you. It probably isn't even worth your time. That's not for you to decide. By my hand, the truth will be revealed. Every decision I make is to ensure that end. Except that's not exactly what we're here to do, is it? What do you mean? We're not trying to expose the truth, we're trying to save Simeon. That's what we do now, remember? We work to get our client out of trouble. Not as a prosecutor, but as a defense attorney's assistant. What the K-Master said, you need to listen to the kid more, you know. A client has requested the services of Edgeworth & Co. And as your old man always says, your relationship with your client comes before everything else. So if you think Mr. Saint's well-being is taking a back seat to some quest for the truth, well, let's just say that I don't like to fire people, so I need you to fight against your instincts a little harder, yeah? This will take some getting used to. In any case, the importance of this man's testimony remains unchanged. Therefore, Mr. Sod, I am asking once more, what happened when you found the body? Finding the corpse. I was in the workshop there by myself, practicing what I learned. When I had learned. I don't remember how, but I found myself in front of the door to the other workshop. I happened to peek in through the little window, and then I saw him lying there, a man not moving, dead. I quailed in fright and found myself screaming in sheer terror. Let me get this straight. The room you were in is next to the one where the corpse was found. Yes, that's right. I was in Workshop B. And you were there the whole day? Yes, from the 7 a.m. roll call onwards. There are 3 roll calls a day, you see. 7 a.m., noon, and 9 p.m. And they check who's in the workshops during a roll call, correct? That's right. Nothing was reported to be amiss at 7 a.m., which means that Knight's body wasn't in the workshop yet at that point in time. Alright. Guess that means the murder took place after 7 a.m., which puts it right around the time the show was happening. Ah yes, the show. I remember the other prisoners going to see it. And therefore anybody who wasn't at the show has no alibi. Would that be a fair assessment, Mr. Sahwitt? I guess so, but I only found the body, I swear. There's a clear contradiction in his testimony. Rooting it out should be my first priority. Alright, let's see. I was in that workshop there by myself, sure. I don't remember how, but I found myself in front of the door to the other workshop. We're gonna press that.
Hold it!
You found yourself there? Really? That's right. And then I found myself peeking through the little window at the door. Why did you think to do that? Gosh, I don't know. I just found myself doing it, really. You clearly weren't concentrating on your work, then. No, that's not true. I'm a model prisoner. It's just all the other prisoners had gone to watch the show. I guess I was, well, kind of lonely. Like being stuck at school after everybody else has gone home, huh? Yes, exactly like that. Anyway, I found myself in front of the door to the other workshop, and... I can't remember. Do the doors open automatically? Like... Hold on, where's the bracelet thing? They open the doors if an animal is detected, or raise an alarm if an inmate's bracelet is detected. So if he went in front of the door, then the alarm would have gone off. Okay, so I was thinking this was automated, but it clearly has a door handle. However, the alarm would have gone off if he approached the door like that.
Objection!
Enough of these pathetic lies, Mr. Sahwitt. I'm afraid you've rather lost sight of what you are. What I am? I know precisely what I am. I'm a former newspaper salesman who's training to be a pet stylist.
Hold it!
That's not all you are, is it? Or did you forget the bracelet you wear around your wrist? A bracelet that marks you as a prisoner and therefore unable to move around as you please. As we both know, stepping outside that door would have sounded an alarm. Well, there's no way you could have looked into the other workshop without leaving the room you were in. Howee, stylishly done, Edgeroo. Well, doesn't this mean that Mr. Sahwitt couldn't have found the body then? Good question, Kay. Perhaps Mr. Sahwitt himself can explain. So actually, I may have forgotten to mention one very important detail. Sorry about that. I can explain exactly how I was able to see the body if you'd like. By all means, go ahead. Part 2. There's a little trick we prisoners know about, you see. As long as you leave your bracelet inside the door, you can lean out without triggering an alarm. That's how I was able... Oh, like sticking to like the left or the right of the door frame, so it's not within the frame. Inside, I spotted the victim's dead body, which made me scream in fright. So he's saying he was able to take a look next door because he kept his arm inside as he leaned out. Please don't tell anyone about our little trick, especially not the guards, please. Is this it? Is this all he was hiding? I better dig a little deeper into his testimony just in case. Sure. Sure. Press?
Hold it!
Can he even reach that far though? If he has to keep his arm in the in B? Why did you make so much of an effort just to take a look? Well, you see, I heard noises coming from next door, and that room was supposed to be empty, so I thought it was strange. And you went to look as soon as you heard these noises? Yes, of course. I had to see what was going on, so I went right away. I see. Are there any problems with this statement? Yes? You claim that you looked inside the next room as soon as you heard some noise. If that's the case, you must have seen more than just a dead body, because the person who made the noises should have been in there too. You got him quaking in his boots, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Saw, tell us the truth about what you saw. You do, of course, have the right to remain silent, but it will do little to dispel the notion that you were somehow involved in the crime. I'm sorry. I did see something else, but it's too insane to believe. I really thought I might have dreamed it, and that's why I wasn't sure if I should mention it. Just tell us what you saw. Alright. It was that dog. And what I saw is the stuff of nightmares. That huge black dog had sunk its terrible teeth into the victim's throat. What did you say? It was hellish, utterly hellish. That beast, that awful beast, he killed him. Ugh, suddenly I don't feel so good. Jeepers creepers, that's awful. Talk about traumatizing. It was dreadful, horrible. Now you know why I couldn't help but scream. So there's a man-eating dog in the prison's animal population, is there? We saw that from the intro, so I do believe that. And that really is everything, I promise. You have to believe me. For now, this one seems too far-fetched to lie, even for you. I'd like you to append what you just told us in your testimony, if you don't mind. Very well. So inside you swallowed the victim, dead body, which made you scream and fight. You also saw the black dog.
Hold it!
Tell me more about that, please. You're sure this black dog was biting the victim's throat? Yes, there was blood everywhere. The beast's mouth was dripping with it, and... Whoa, spare us the gory details, will you? What about the victim? Was he... Eek. Don't say it. Do you really need to ask him that, Mr. Edgeworth? Ah, okay, what was that punch for? I'm on your side here. He wasn't moving at all. He was just lying there. Meaning he was already dead. There was so much blood just oozing from his neck. Oh, he was dead as a doornail, I'm sure of that. Not even the twitch of a finger, just lifeless. Eek, enough already. Why do you have to go into every little detail like that? To give you a nice and accurate testimony, that is what you want, isn't it? Shall I add what I've said to my testimony, Mr. Edgeworth? Please do. It was awful, I tell you. Terrible. He was dead as a doornail, I'm sure of that. Not even a twitch of the finger, just lifeless. I remember seeing his ring gleaming as it caught the light. It featured a snowflake motif and huh. Did his thing have a ring? He wouldn't have seen the ring because the blank... One hand doesn't have a ring, the other hand has a blanket thing over it.
Objection!
A ring with a snowflake relief? Yes, I saw it clear as day. It was carved in such fine detail. Interesting. Your testimony is certainly very accurate. In fact, I'd say it's just a little too accurate. And what's wrong with being too accurate? I mean this. You testified to having seen a ring with a snowflake design on it, and while the victim did indeed have a ring on his finger, see, exactly as I said, there is no way you could have seen it. Take a look at this photograph. As you can see, the victim's right hand was covered by a tarp. It would have been impossible for you to see his ring, let alone what design was on it. Unless, that is, you approached the body and removed the sheet. You told us earlier you only took a look through the window of the door, yet you seem to have quite a lot. You seem to have seen quite a lot for such a disadvantaged location, Mr. Sahwitt. Who the heck do you think you are, huh, Mr. Big Shot, acting like you know it all? I mean, I saw what I saw, I swear. Oh, I know, that man's arm. It must have moved under the tarp after I peeked in.
Objection!
Nonsense, you already told us that couldn't have been the case. He wasn't moving at all, he was just lying there, meaning he was already dead. Said it yourself that the victim was already dead, and dead men don't move, do they? Holy, is this the stench of Ude desperation I smell? What are you hiding, Mr. Sahwitt? Tell us. No, You're wrong. I know what I saw. Yeah. You couldn't let it go, could you? Had to keep on poking and prodding. You slimy two-bit associate attorney. It seems the real Mr. Sahwitt has finally revealed himself. Whoa, that's quite the rug he was rocking. Came straight at you like some kind of flying black cat. Look, I'm just a sweet, innocent witness here. But are you really? Because I must say, I have doubts, very serious doubts. What's that supposed to mean? You saw something that should have been impossible to see from outside the workshop. So how did you do it? That's simple. Mr. Sahwitt, this is where you were standing when you saw the body. He was with him. You obviously couldn't have seen it from there. Couldn't have seen it from here. So he would have had to have been here with him and have known.
Take that!
You were in the same room as his body. That's the only way you could have seen the relief on the ring. And he also has that glove, like, sticking out of his apron thing. Which, he only has one, and there was another one by the body. Ha ha ha. Say what you want, but you don't have a shred of evidence, do you? Well, is the glove the evidence? You can't prove it, can you? Because I was in the next room over, minding my own business and looking after the animals. Why else would I have signed out a pair of rubber gloves for fun? Now, put it up or shut up. I want to see evidence. Okay? Right there?
Take that!
Remind me, Mr. Sahwitt, what were you doing when you discovered the body? How many times I was practicing my pet styling technique? Of course. That perhaps this rubber glove might mean something to you? Ah, that's... The glove was found by the victim's body. I believe it was dropped by the killer. And I can't help but notice that you have a similar glove tucked in your apron. No, this one's different.
Hold it!
Yes, that one does seem awfully lonely, doesn't it? It's just a rubber glove. There are hundreds of them all over the prison. This doesn't prove anything.
Objection!
Not yet, perhaps, but if we were to ask the police to check this glove for prints, and I have a feeling the results would be rather fascinating. It's over.
Objection!
What the? Hee. That was a pretty rad objection, am I right? Please, Fender, now is not the time for tomfoolery. But I have a legit objection, because this isn't over. There's something that still doesn't make sense. Our man here's a prisoner, right? And he's got one of those bracelet doohickeys on. That's true, so how could he have left his workshop in the first place? His bracelet would have triggered the alarm if he tried. Right, we don't have a good explanation for that yet. Well, anything you'd like to share, good buddy? We're all friends here. That's weird. He should be clinging onto that bracelet like the big, round lifesaver it is. In what way? As in, it's the best hope our wig-flinging friend here has for getting off the hook for murder. Sorry, can't get into the crime scene with a bracelet on, and if it was me, I'd be arguing that for my life. And yet he hasn't said a peep about it. I wonder why that might be, The sound of silence. I suppose Miss Law Priestess did preach that silence is golden yesterday, too. Whoa, you sounded like an actual attorney for a second there, Mr. Fender. The worst of times are when lawyers calmly show our biggest smiles. Gregory taught me that. It was part of the attorney's code he lived by. So, friend, what's the dealio? Why so coy about your bracelet? Well, to tell you the truth, it's broken. Broken? I fell over a little while back, you see, and hit it on the floor. After that, it didn't seem to set off the sensors anymore. I should have told the guards about it, I know, but, well, it was awfully convenient. I see. So your bracelet is broken. Do they really break that easily? If so, then this person has a serious security problem. You there, could we have a moment? Aw, aren't Mew just the cutest? Ahem. Meow, how can I help you, sir? This prisoner's bracelet appears to be broken. What? Really? That's not good. I'll get someone to find a replacement right away. Thank you. We'll keep hold of the broken one for the time being. Of course, sir. I trust you'll take good care of it. Sweet. Bracelet sorted. Now to turn our murderer in, yeah? What? No, I didn't kill anybody. Whoa there, Palio. You were the one who said your bracelet was out of commission. Or were there other inmates freely roaming the halls while everybody was busy watching the show? No, I just found the body, that's all, I promise. And when I did, that enormous dog still had his mouth wrapped around the poor man's neck. I only went into the workshop after the beast had left. And why did you go in? Well, oh fine, I wanted to go through his pockets, okay? He was gonna rob the corpse? That explains why he remembers Knight's ring in so much detail. Hey, why are you looking at me like that? I'm a great thief. I'd never stoop so low as to steal from a... Well, I didn't steal anything either. The show ended just after I entered the room and all the other inmates came trickling downstairs thereafter. I panicked, rushed back into the other workshop, and started my fake screaming. And dropped the glove in your haste, huh? I guess this is all just about hangs together. Anything smell funky to you, Miles? Other than whether Mr. Sod is the one who did it, I'd say one very significant question still remains. The question of how Knight made it into the prison proper from his holding cell in the detention center. Ooh, yeah, that one's a doozy. I also can't help but wonder about another key feature of Mr. Sod's testimony. That dog's involvement can only mean one thing. Mr. Sod. Yes? What is it? Were you the only prisoner who didn't go watch the show? Well, no, there was one other who didn't. Am I right in thinking that this person couldn't have watched the show even if he wanted to? Yes, how did you... I knew it. I had my suspicions when we first ran into that black dog yesterday, but this confirms it. For a criminal that dangerous to end up in a place like this is unbelievable, but... Where is this person's cell? You're going to see him? Who are we talking about here? Him. He's not like the other prisoners, you know. He's special. Gets treated like royalty. But you didn't hear that from me. All I'll say is, if you value your life, you'll stay well away from him. What? Will you please stop trying to scare us all the time? The big cheese, huh? Well, I for one definitely value my life, so that sucks. They keep him in maximum security. Which is over there. Maximum security. Well, that's certainly one way of treating someone differently. Building layout data updated. Alright, quit being so mysterious and tell us who he is already. Let's just say he's highly skilled when it comes to people's lives. Better than anyone, in fact. And, that's all I'm prepared to say on the subject. In fact, I may have already said too much. Well, Milesy, anything you care to share, or are you gonna leave Kay and I in the dark here too? The mysterious man in maximum security is an old acquaintance. Let's go pay him a visit. I suspect we'll find our dark canine friend there too. Dun dun dun. Wow, it's pitch black in there. I can't see a thing. But didn't you say the Yatagarasu takes flight even in the dead of night or something? Even in the depths of night, when no other bird dares to take flight. One alone soars to shine, the light of righteousness on the world's blight. And that one is me, for I am the great thief Yatagarasu. Whoa, you are one powerful performer. Thanks, but that doesn't help me see in the dark. I'm a human, not a three-legged raven. Eek! Whoa, whoa, whoa! Ah, Mr. Edgeworth. That voice. I knew it. It has been far too long. You remember me? Hee hee hee. I could hardly forget now, couldn't I? After all, you are the one who put me away. Mr. Edgeworth, are you talking to the dog? Or is there someone else in there? Still can't see a dang thing. Oh, but I am forgetting myself. Forgive me. I do not often receive visitors. One moment. I will turn on the lights. Hee hee hee, you are a heavy-footed lot. Am I right in thinking there are 3 of you in... Oh, he's blind. There are 3 of you in all? That explains why he keeps the light off. Very well, perhaps we should start by introducing ourselves. I am... Bodhindharma Canis. Bodhindharma... I'm trying to figure out, like, a lot of these guys' names are puns. Like the Saw It guy, he's the one who saw it. What's this guy's pun? No, like, there's bod and hid, so, like, hiding the body. Harma Canis. I can see if you swap the H and the K, so you'd have Karma. Which, he has, like, the whole, like, Buddha thing going on behind him. I don't know what Hannes would be, though. As you may have gathered, Mr. Edgeworth and I are old acquaintances. Hee. Canis was a notorious assassin. Some knew him as the Blind Butcher. His only weapons were a vicious hunting hound and a fearsomely sharp knife. His appearance was always announced by the sound of bells. The last sound his victims would ever hear. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, am I to guess why you have come to see me? You know why I'm here. In fact, I'm willing to bet you know every detail of this sordid little affair already. Hee, then I suppose we have nothing to hide from one another. Suspicion of murder, I guess. Your faithful canine friend is currently the chief suspect in a murder investigation. The person who found the body saw a dog with its mouth around the victim's throat. Your witness is mistaken. Helmut is a gentle soul. He is my eyes, nothing more. It is absurd to think that he would do such a thing, isn't it, boy? Yes, it is. You're a good boy, aren't you? Helmut is more than a mere seeing-eye dog, and he's certainly no good boy. He's also a trained killer. A weapon once... Why would you give the... Like, I get the whole giving of the prisoners animals, but why would you give the guy who trained a dog to be a killer? Not just a dog, but his dog, the one he trained to be a killer. This witness of yours, he is trustworthy, I assume? Solid is anything but trustworthy, but he is still very much a suspect himself. I can hardly claim that his testimony is beyond reproach. No, then. I thought as much. Yes, I did, Helmut, yes. It figures that he already knew who our witness is. Your alibi? What were you doing between 8 and 10 a.m. yesterday morning, Mr. Canis? During the show, you mean? I was here, ensconced in these humble surroundings. I have developed a passion for wood carving, you see, an obsession even. I was engrossed in it all morning. And you have permission to engage in such a hobby? I can't believe someone would actually let you. The warden and I have an understanding. An understanding? That's ridiculous. This man shouldn't be allowed one, let alone 5 chisels. There are nothing but lethal weapons in his hands. I was carving Buddhist pieces at first, but by the 674th, my interest began to wane. Whoa, that must have taken forever. Time is all I have, child. In any case, my focus has now shifted to pieces such as these. I didn't know you played chess. You play too, do you not, prosecutor? Perhaps one day you might indulge me? Well, you may find my game rather rudimentary. I only begun after my arrival here, I'm afraid. What's that piece? A dog with 3 heads? Ah yes, the dogs of war. You must forgive my little joke. Chess is, after all, a game of war. Soldiers, knights, castles, all doing their utmost to protect the king. All loyal to the last. I have always thought it strange that such a game has no place for a dog. After all, what more loyal weapon could any army call upon? Still, it's simply a piece I made for fun. Fear not, I play by the regular rules, and with the regular pieces. I can't imagine it easy finding openings to play here in prison, though. Oh, I have my correspondence. Correspondence chess, then? Sharing moves by post? Yes, even prisoners are allowed to send and receive letters. Their contents are inspected, of course. Although I have yet to receive the details of my current opponent's next move. Alright. Sounds like this current opponent isn't a resident here. The victim. I suppose you know the identity of the deceased, Mr. Cass? His name was Bronco Knight, was it not? Poor unfortunate soul. You keep your ear to the ground. My ears are all I have, Mr. Edgeworth. Why am I not surprised that he's plugged into the prison's information network? Perhaps he was not so unfortunate after all. What do you mean? Mr. Knight's crime was a grave one, a crime for which he would have been made to pay dearly anyway. The attempted assassination of a president. That is no small matter. Attempted assassination? Wait, Mr. Edgeworth, didn't Mr. Knight... Yes, we proved that he murdered his team leader, and that there was no attempt on the president's life. Could it be? Are they attempting to cover up President Wang's fake assassination scheme? Whoa, 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 whoa there, cowboy. You're saying the Bronxter didn't actually have a pop at the Prez? I was hired to defend him on the charge of attempted murder. You mean you don't know what really happened? So what, they just blamed the whole assassination thing on Mr. Knight? It would explain why the committee was so keen to get involved. Of course, they took you off the case to try to keep you away, and swapped in that wiener kid to to push through an attempted murder charge. In other words, they're trying to cover up the truth. Hee, so they really were trying to frame him. According to the guards, this Knight, was it? They tell me he was violently insistent that he had attempted no assassination, which would have come out anyway when the case went to trial. I am no expert in legal matters, but allow me to say this one thing. I know for certain that he would not have been the first inmate imprisoned on false pretenses. An uncomfortable fact, but a fact nonetheless. Yes, Helmut, yes it is, yes. The courtroom is not always the bastion of truth you believe it to be, Mr. Edgeworth. No bastion of truth, huh? I've heard something to that effect before. Yes, from a certain Interpol agent who doesn't have much faith in prosecutors. Lang Zi. You're not twisting the truth behind those closed courtroom doors too, are you? Fueled by that kind of thinking, is it any wonder that courts produce nothing but falsities and lies? Sorry, but the truth doesn't need the likes of you to distort it today. I never was able to fully dispel his mistrust of prosecutors. Even Helmut understands. Don't you, Helmut? Yes, you do. The truths revealed in court and your deductions, it is dangerous to trust either implicitly. But I am not bitter. You are not the first to make me a subject of unfounded suspicions in recent days. In fact, I was visited by another prosecutor only yesterday. He was accompanied by a judge. They even dragged the warden along, her distaste for me lingering unspoken in the air. Not those two again. Prosecutor Winner and Judge Gavel. They went over my cell with a fine-tooth comb, but they left empty-handed. They were looking for the murder weapon, I believe, but to no avail. But I mustn't take it personally. Rumor has it that they searched every cell in the prison, and still failed to find what they were looking for. I pray they weren't too disappointed. Hehehe. Alright. Well, that posed more questions than it answered. What do we do now? Saad's testimony is flimsy at best. I'll need more proper evidence if I want to take Canis on. Well, I think that's quite enough chit-chat for one day. Helmut will show you out. Good boy, Helmut. Go on now. He's not showing us out. Permanently, right? Let's get out of here, come on. Until next time, Mr. Canis. It does pain me that our brief time must end, just as we were becoming reacquainted. I await your return, Mr. Edgeworth. Hee. Interesting. Now to gather the evidence I need to bolster my case. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh my god. That's the best hiding spot she could find. It's alright, Kay, you can come down now. Where's Fender? He ran off somewhere. I had no idea he could move that fast. Sigh, Fender. So what do we do now? You and I will continue the investigation, and I know just where to start. By solving that one particular mystery that's been dogging us the whole time. Knight's body was found in one of the prison's workshops, but he was presumably being detained in one of the detention center's holding cells. So how did he wind up on the other side of those heavy security doors? Let's start by investigating the holding cells. And Mr. Knight's room, right? But what about Mr. Fender? I'm sure he'll find us when he's ready. Sure, but he's kind of our boss, isn't he? Oh well. The victim's cell is just over there. Lead the way, Mr. Edgeworth. I have just about had it. Who's that? The warden, she must have come from the corridor marked no entry. He's still not talking, ma'am? Even with the evidence you borrowed from the precinct? No, and I've tried so many times, I've lost count. What am I supposed to do? I can't send in a blank report. I guess a killer for hire was always going to be a tough nut to crack. A killer for hire? Oh. I couldn't help overhearing, Warden, but were you just talking about Bobhidharma Canis? My, you were listening. How very gotch of you. A girl's privacy is her armor, you know. Do you normally conduct interrogations of the man yourself? Oh, it's not just him, darling. I try to have the occasional tit-a-tat-tit-a-tits... Tit-a-tat-tit-a-tit-a... That with everyone, you see. Look at your folks. That's what it means to be a member of the family in this little home of ours. There isn't a person who hasn't made the pilgrimage to my office at least once. Your office? How sweet. He's angling for an invite. Well, I suppose it is the hottest ticket in town. It's down this corridor here, darling, but FYI, I don't let just anyone wander in willy-nilly. Let's see, that would put it right around here. Hehehe, it's a wonderful room if I do say so myself. All my guests rave about it. And who wouldn't want a view of my fabulous garden of the yard? Oh la la! The yard? If it's anything like the rest of the place, it's probably full of adorable animals, right? Can I see? Building layout updated. Oh, darling, it's so sweet of you to take an interest, but I'm afraid that's just not possible. Why not? Because you're not a member of our home. If you want to see it that badly, you'll just have to get convicted for doing something unspeakable. That's a rather steep price to pay. Oh, but just listen to me, chattering away like there's no tomorrow. It's time for Allie's lunchy brunch. The poor darling will be dying. Allie? The sweetest little dear in all the world. I know I shouldn't have favorites, but you know how it is. Now, to the yard with me. Ciao for now, darlings. I wanted to ask her more about Canis, but she dominated that conversation from start to finish. Sigh, let's go investigate the victim's cell, shall we? Alright. So this is Knight's cell. When do you think he was brought in, Mr. Edgeworth? It would have had to have been during the evening of the 25th, just after the events at the lake. And then at some point he wound up in the prison proper, but how? There must be some evidence here that would point us in the right direction. Alright, let's get looking, Mr. Edgeworth. Begin investigation. Next time. Bye-bye. Save game, yes. I'll see y'all next time.